Hello, hello, hello again. This is Mable, your princess of fortune and praise in Mexico. And I am doing the show on the go in Mexico. And I'm at the very top of the ship having a good time. I had to move because a lot of people were coming along talking and hollering and yelling and having a good time and celebrating. It's early, early in the morning. I have to meet some folks in a few minutes downstairs so we can go off to another beach and I think just have a good time and swim a little. And I told y'all I'm gonna get chocolate air. So y'all remember how I look now. I'm gonna be chocolate air, a few shades browner when I leave the real beach. But now I'm on the very top of the ship. There's a whirlpool, jacuzzi, and just places where you can lay out and lie out and get you a good suntan and just have a good time. And as you can hear people in the back, they're just hollering, they're having a good time too. But I was trying to explain to y'all, we never had vacation. We never had a vacation. We just had enough money to make it from week to week and from day to day. And we had a lot of good food. Like on Mondays, we ate beans. On Tuesdays, we ate peas. On Wednesdays, we ate greens. On Thursday, we ate sauerkraut. And on Fridays, we ate tuna fish, or somebody came by the house and brought some fish, or we ate some salmon, in a can, mackerel. On Saturday, we ate fish. Usually people came by who had gone fishing, and they would have a whole pail of fish, and they would come by and just bring you some in order to enjoy, because they knew that we didn't go fishing, but they knew we would certainly take advantage of the delicious food that they were bringing from the waters all around Memphis on the Mississippi. And I mean, we ate catfish and whiting and perch and brim and all kind of fish I had never heard of. It was good. Put some hot sauce on it. And how many of you all learned how to even eat fish with bones? And my husband and I used to always debate and laugh and joke about how he loved only fillets, and he loved tilapia, and he loved bass and sword and all these fish I had never heard of living in the projects. As far as I knew, it was tuna fish, it was perch, it was bass, what was it, catfish, it was whiting, whatever the men in our neighborhood brought to our house, that's what we got for free, and that was good enough for me. But Paul loved fillets, Paul loved the expensive stuff. And I learned how to, and some of you, how many of y'all out there learned how to eat fish as a little kid, as a youngster? Way back in kindergarten and elementary school, did y'all learn how to eat the fish with the bones in it? Some of the fish had big, big bones, but some of the other fish had little bones. They taught us how to eat the fish and spit out the bone. Eat the fish and spit out the bone. And you're talking about fish with bones, and then a little side over here with slaw and hot sauce and spaghetti. Oh my goodness, you're talking about eating. And that's when I did eat a little white bread, but because my stepfather ended up with diabetes, we had to stop eating white bread and we had to start eating whole wheat bread and brown bread. And that's what I've been eating ever since. Brown bread, pumpernickel, dark breads. I just love them. Banana nut bread. Yum, yum, yum. Making me hungry. In fact, look what I got before I came up here to the top of the ship. Look, look, look. Looky, looky, looky. I got me some banana nut bread. You come out good. Can't beat this. But anyway, don't let me stop and eat. I'm supposed to talk to y'all. Don is so good. I can't begin to let him know how much I appreciate him, because There was a time when we never knew about cruises. We saw people cruising on television. We saw people cruising in movies and films, but we didn't know anything about cruising. You know what I mean? We knew about Jonah out there in the whale, and we knew about how Jesus and his disciples, they were cruising, I guess, all the time in their boats, with Simon Peter and all of his brothers and everybody. They were all hanging out on boats because they were fishermen. But we never went on a cruise. But, oh my goodness. Hey, we were just glad to get some tuna fish, glad to get some free fish from the men in the neighborhood. But just to think of being on a cruise where people come by with a menu and have all these different types of fish and steak and lobster and seafood, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is my one time to taste, test everything. But do you see how far we've come, y'all? Do you know how far we've come? And that's what I want to emphasize today. We have come a long, long way. Because there was a time, oh my goodness. Hey, we had to sit in the back of the bus. And we'd get on the bus, put our little money in there. And when we had the money, we sat on the back of the bus. If we didn't have any money, we took the number 2 walker. That meant we walked wherever we had to go. That's what we called the number 2 walker. We didn't have to worry about counting our steps because we walked every day. We walked everywhere. We walked to school. My whole time I went to kindergarten, to school, to Sunday school, to church, to work with my grandmother, to my uncle's dentist's office. We walked uptown, downtown, Beale Street, to visit my great-grandparents. Walking was just something we loved to do because that's what we had to do if we wanted to get anywhere. And we had umbrellas to kind of shade us a little bit from the hot burning sun because in Memphis it got real, real hot. I mean, chocolate night hot. But when we had money, we did ride the bus, and that was a delight. But getting on the bus, that was something that was a little unique back during segregation. Some of you children out there, some of you young folks don't know what I'm talking about. If you had a permanent suntan like me, you get on the bus, and I just thought I could just sit anywhere. I'd just, hey, here's a seat up here. I'd sit down right up front. My grandmother would grab my little arm and yank me back to the back of the bus and tell me, baby, we sit in the back of the bus. This is where the good seats are. And she told me that same story when we would go to the movies. At the Malco Theater, we had to go upstairs, way, way high up in the nosebleed. And I'd say, why can't we sit downstairs with those other children and their parents? And Jill would say, oh, baby, these are the good seats up here. See, we can see everything from on high. And you know what? I just believe whatever she said. They never talked to me about segregation. They never talked to me about racism. They never talked to me about disenfranchisement. They never talked to me about how people would hang folks if they just thought they went the wrong way or looked the wrong way or said the wrong thing. I never heard about strange fruit that my favorite artist, Billie Holiday, made famous. And I loved Billie Holiday because she was really a major civil rights leader because a teacher wrote the words to the song Strange Fruit. And if you all don't know what I'm talking about, people who lived in the North were not used to seeing people being hung and lynched. But in the South, it was something that you would see in many of the southern states. And there's a museum that focuses on that in Montgomery, Alabama. But I mean, hundreds of brown brown people like us were lynched, especially black men. They were lynched and they hung from trees in the South. And when this teacher wrote the poem, he was thinking about the strange fruit that hung from the trees. When Billie Holiday saw the words to the song, and they ended up, well, they were really just lyrics, and they put the song together, and she started singing the song, and it really made those of us with a permanent tan think, think, think about what they're trying to do to us. You better think. That's what Aretha talked about. Think about what they're trying to do to me. Yes, yes, think. And that was a way of keeping brown, black people, anybody who wasn't white, Negroes, they called us other things, starting with an N, colored people. That's the way they kept us in line, by scaring us, by making us think if you don't stay in line and do what these segregational type rules are telling you to do, you could end up as a strange fruit hung from a tree in the South. So the strange fruit and the Ku Klux Klan, the little leaders running around with sheets all over their head, carrying crosses. Can you imagine that? Wow, you're talking about exact opposites. Here you are riding around in a white sheet trying to scare black folks, but then you holding up big crosses. And then when you get around black folks, what would you do? You take whatever they had, or you scare them, or you just do all kinds of crazy things to let them know we're in charge. You got to do what we tell you to do. Yes, slavery was over. Reconstruction, back in Reconstruction, that's when all this stuff started. Because black people were obtaining too much. Black people were going too far. Black people were really, really trying to learn how to read and how to write and be educated. And some blacks were able to get in state legislatures. Blacks were able to become entrepreneurs and own their own farmland and do pretty good in life. But whenever you start doing good, there's going to be a devil somewhere around. There's going to be an imp somewhere around to try to take away whatever you worked hard to do. And that's why I loved those songs that encouraged us, that let us know we've come a long way, but we still got a long, long way to go. And getting back to one of my favorite singers, Billie Holiday, she was told by the folks, do not sing that song. You sing everything else in your repertoire, but do not sing Strange Fruit. She could sing, I cried for you. Or she could sing about the blues and the rainy days and the rainy nights and the times when she was feeling down. She could sing about that, but she couldn't sing about Strange Fruit. They call it Friday, Good Friday. But if you got hung on Good Friday, it wasn't a Good Friday. It wasn't a Good Friday for Jesus either. But the blues. Oh wow. It's good. The blues. That's why we were able to create and invent the blues. Because we went through heartaches. Rainy days and heartaches, they always get me down. Yep. Carpenters sang that. But that came back to my memory. They call it stormy Monday, but Tuesday's just as bad. They call it stormy Monday, but Tuesday's just as bad. Oh, wow. Hey, wow. Well, when Super Singer kept singing about strange fruit, you better believe she paid for it with a horrible price. She ended up in jail. She ended up going through a lot of turmoil, trials, and tribulations. She ended up on drugs, had some real challenges. But she kept on singing. She kept on singing the blues. It's so much, y'all, that have happened to us as black people that nowadays people just forgot all about, or tend to forget all about, or just say that was back then. It ain't like that now. But I want y'all to realize, and this part, I'm getting serious. I want y'all to realize you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. And that's why we need to realize that freedom ain't free. Freedom ain't free. Really, people fought hard to get the freedom that we have today. You're able to walk into any store you want to and buy whatever you want to buy if you got the money or the credit card. You're able to eat in any restaurant you want to eat in, and people won't tell you got to go to the back and get a takeout. You can go in any movie theater or enjoy anything on Broadway and not have to sit in the back. All of these things are open to you now, where you can ride on the bus and not have to worry about, hey, I gotta go to the back. You can go to a water fountain and just drink cool water. Just enjoy cold water. But when I was a little girl growing up, hey, if I even went close to the white water fountain, you better believe my grandmama was there to spank my little legs and tell me, girl, you better come on over here where they told us to drink. And when I learned to read and I saw COLOROD, I thought, colored. That means Kool-Aid? That means I can drink Kool-Aid? Oh my goodness, wow. Hey, I'm doing all right. And I kept drinking that colored water because I thought that, hey, that's what we had to do. I'm saying all of this to let y'all know, going to major white schools, hey, we were relegated to HBCUs. And what I learned by working at an HBCU, the largest historically black college university in America, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. That's where I received my master's and my PhD. By attending that school, I learned what it was all about as far as nurturing and really supporting and giving you that extra push to say, you're going to be just like that little train going up the track. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I know I can. I know I can. I know I can. I did it all. I did it all. I did it. Those teachers let you know you're not going to play here. You're going to do what you got to do, or we're going to send you back home. And I loved working and going to school at North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University. I learned a lot too when I went to undergraduate at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. And I learned that there were differences in the way we looked, in the way we talked, and in the way we were even thinking about going to school. We were some of the first big groups of students going to UT, University of Tennessee, Knoxville, as black students. And when we got on campus, we didn't know how to act to be in a dorm where we had maids. So you know what we did? We told the maids, you enjoy the snacks that are here, enjoy whatever we have in our room, turn on the TV, watch the soap operas, listen to our music on our little record players. But we will keep our rooms clean because we're thinking about you and we're seeing our mommies and our grandmommies and our great grandmothers. And we don't want you to have to do any extra work, but enjoy yourself when you come to our room. It was just different to see students with cars and with credit cards and with money and opportunities to go to Gatlinburg and to enjoy all kinds of things we had never experienced before. We really never ate steak. Y'all know what we had. We had oxtails and chitlins and hog balls and creams and peas and okra and neck bones and pig feet, pig tails, pig ears, everything you could talk about on a pig or a cow, we had it. But all of that helped me to realize there's a whole nother world out there that we don't even know about. When I first met white girls in our dorm, so many of them were focused on how to find your husband at college. And my folks had told me, your main job is to get you a degree and a piece of paper so you can get you a job and get you a house and get you a car and pay your bills. But those white girls in our dorm, they told us, they said, your focus on campus is to get you a husband. And they even told us, if a guy invites you out to dinner and he has one of these little plastic protectors, plastic pen and pencil protectors in their pockets, and they have a slide ruler, that means they're an engineering student. And that's who you really want to go out with. Date the engineering students because you know you'll have a good husband. But anyway, I learned so much by being at the University of Tennessee, and it taught me what I needed to know in order to end up being in the broadcasting business and working in radio and television and in public relations. So while I'm here on this trip in Mexico, I'm just reminiscing about how good God has been and how God has brought us so far. But I want you to remember, freedom ain't free. Somebody gave up their life and gave up their jobs and gave up their families for all of you out there so that you could make it one day and so that you could be where you are today. Therefore, you need to do all you can to strengthen our community, to stand up for what is right, and to do what you know you need to do. Because as I learned in my favorite poem, oh my God, Invictus. Yes, Invictus. Out of the night that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever God's made me for my unconquerable soul. In the fail clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears, knows but the highways of the shades, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. I thank God for being my captain. I thank God for being my anchor. For He is the one that has kept me alive, that has kept me going, that has given me strength, that has let me know whether I'm back in the segregation days of sitting in the back of the bus, drinking colored water out of colored water fountains, of going way high in the sky, sitting high up in the Malco Theater. But yet when I went on Beale Street, I could sit anywhere I wanted to sit. Of not being able to even try on the clothes that maybe we could buy. My Aunt Emma could afford to buy anything she wanted to buy at any of those expensive, exclusive stores. But guess what? Aunt Emma couldn't try on a hat. That's when I realized, oh my God, this segregation stuff is serious. This is the real deal. I mean, we would have oranges and apples and pecans and different kinds of nuts in our house, but we didn't have a lot of bananas or fruits that would, change real quickly. But when we went to Aunt Emma's house, oh my God, she had a wide array of all kinds of fruits and vegetables and lamb and lime, um, nut jelly on the side, different kinds of breads and desserts. And guess what? Every day during her 3 meals, my Aunt Emma drank a little glass of wine. And her doctor gave her that prescription to help with her blood. That's when I realized, oh my God, some folks are really living good. And I learned from Aunt Emma, I better learn all I can in kindergarten and in school so I can go to college and end up on a cruise ship like today. I love all of y'all out there. This is Able Mable, your princess of poetry and praise. Hey, 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 on the top of the ship, on my way to a beach to enjoy myself and to become a real chocolatite and to get chocolatier than what I am right now. Next time when y'all see me, I'll be a little bit more chocolatier. I love y'all out there. Don't forget, Conversations with Able Mable, your princess of poetry and praise. Check us out. Support Amen Communications, Dollars for Scholars, to help students to get what they need to get so they can soar to the top in careers that will help them to make our lives, to help to make our cities, our counties, our towns even better places to live, work, and play. Love y'all. Ta-ta. God bless you.